Good morning, YouTube. Happy Sunday morning. I'll get there in a second. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the prep vlog series. This will be the introduction for 9 weeks out. I was 9 weeks out from show number 1 yesterday. As usual, if you are watching this week's video, then I'm under the assumption that you watched last week's video. If you haven't, then go do that right now. What are you doing? Friday night would have been the last time that I checked in with you guys. I finished recording at probably about 11:30, and then I still had to edit, render, upload that vlog, take a shower, and eat another meal. So I didn't get to bed until about 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. And then my parents came over yesterday on Saturday. They came over at about 10 a.m. So I wanted to be up at about 8 o'clock to do some cleaning. My body kind of woke me up around 7:30 anyways. So I did not get a ton of sleep from Friday night into Saturday morning, and then we spent the full day with my parents yesterday. I did not film a single thing. I was just obviously wanting to be fully present with them. We had a great day. They came over and we talked for a couple of hours just here in the apartment, and then we took them to a barbecue restaurant that is opened by us that Carissa and I love to go to, and every single time that we go, I say, and I tell Carissa, I just think, man, my dad specifically would really love to come here. So we took them there. Thankfully, this particular restaurant has really good macro-friendly options, and they're a chain, so they do have their macros online. So I just got a smoked turkey sandwich, which is just 6 ounces of smoked turkey on a plain hamburger bun, and that's all that I had. But factored those macros in there, took them to a local shopping mall that Carissa and I like to go to. And this is actually the same shopping mall that I went to last week before we went to the movie. And then from there we went to another shopping mall, so we went to 2 malls. We were there for a little bit and then came home, came back here, and then watched a movie. We watched Hamnet. A pretty powerful movie. It was a drama movie, kind of romanticizing or dramatizing the life of William Shakespeare, and whether William Shakespeare goes on to write the Hamlet tragedy. I actually haven't really looked up if this is actually like historically true, but either way, it was a really, really good movie, and it was nice to watch that with them. My parents and us, we end up watching movies a lot when we hang out together. We all like to watch movies and stuff like that. So that was just a super fun afternoon. I was obviously extremely tired. I felt great throughout the day. I was talking and drinking energy drinks and everything, but as we were sitting there watching the movie by nighttime, I was kind of starting to get really, really tired, and the 4 to 5 hours of sleep was kind of starting to catch up with me. So I passed out last night at like probably 10 o'clock, and then I slept all the way through the night. I slept till like 7:30 a.m., did not wake up a single time. So I got like 9 to 9.5 straight hours of sleep, and I'm still a little tired, but I feel pretty good today. I did not wake up to a new low this morning, but I was 0.2 pounds away from the low that I had just hit on Friday morning. So I'm gonna run another high carb day today, 700 grams of carbs, just to kind of get a little bit more accurate of an assessment of how that's gonna work for me. Because the first time I did 700 grams of carbs, I gained 1.5 pounds, which is just the same amount where I was with the 600 grams of carbs, but I had that on just a crazy day on Friday where I was going to the ER and all that type of stuff. So kind of hard to get a super accurate measurement of how well that stuck. So today will give me an opportunity to kind of get a better idea of how I get on with 700 carbs compared to 600. And today is also full body D, which is my hardest training session of my program. I do stiff legs and hack squats and dips and pull-ups on this day, so it's just a very fatiguing training session. So it's also a really good one for me to do a high carb day on so that I can fuel it and recover from it and perform. I'll probably talk about this as we get a little bit later into the week, but this is, in my opinion, going to be a fairly significant week of prep because my girlfriend and I are actually going to Las Vegas this weekend. We had made some plans to see a concert with some friends of ours a ways back, and I knew that I was going to be in prep during that time. But regardless, this will be the first time that I've ever actually traveled out of the state while in a contest prep. So that will be an interesting experience to not only like experience for myself, but also to be able to kind of share and document that with you guys. So obviously today's only Sunday. We leave like late Friday night. So I'll, probably talk about that as we get a little bit closer to our departure dates, but, something to throw the prep out of a loop a little bit, but, it's kind of going on with where I ended off last week's video. That's kind of the name of the game sometimes, and, I think in a perfect world, prep would be the only thing that goes on in my life, but that's just not where my life is at. But that doesn't mean that I can't prep. It's about living a life of harmony, and I don't know if balance is the word, but harmony is, I think, a better word. And I got to put my money where my mouth is. If I want to compete, I also don't necessarily want to put my entire life and social life on pause. We're only going to be in Vegas for like 30 something hours. It's going to be a very, very short trip, but that is part of the process. So I'm excited to kind of document that and talk about that with you guys. And it's almost like we'll be navigating that together because, like I said, this will be my first time actually like traveling like on a plane out of state for, I guess it's not technically my first time out of state, but I've always been like driving and everything. So it'll be very different flying. Back like I never left. Another day that starts on the walking pad and ends on the walking pad. A great training session today. Super happy with everything. I mean, I really don't have much of anything else to say other than that. Stiff leg progressing, hack squat progressing. Really the only thing that I'm kind of noticing is that the dip is getting a little bit harder to progress as I kind of get out of the 180 pound range. But vice versa, my pull-up is kind of getting easier. So it's funny how those two exercises are kind of in an inverse. I made a complete like program revamp. The other day, I went through all 4 of my training sessions and I just got rid of all of the unilateral exercises that I was doing. Anything that was single arm or single leg, I just got rid of that. I'm just kind of getting to a point where mentally and physically, I just don't have the energy to do single arm or single leg stuff. Like it takes twice as long. I just feel like it's like burning through my glycogen, twice as quickly. It probably realistically isn't, but I'm really just, not really feeling like doing anything unilateral. And I think I only had 4 exercises total that I was doing unilateral stuff. So Just basically doing everything bilateral. And today I introduced a new cable hammer curl variation. I was previously doing the hammer curl with dumbbells unilaterally, but again, I'm just not in the mood to do that anymore. So going forward, today was full body D. I'll have a rest day tomorrow, and then I'll have full body A on Tuesday. And then that will kind of be the start of the first full rotation where I didn't do or won't do anything unilateral. Some people may call that laziness. I just call it smart programming for where I'm at right now. If I was in the off season eating a lot of food at a higher body fat percentage, I would most definitely be doing unilateral work. But I'm not. I'm lean and trying to get leaner and purposefully running my body in a deficit to get leaner. And so I'm purposefully depriving myself of fuel. And it just doesn't make sense for me to do unilateral stuff if it just depletes that fuel faster. And I just genuinely don't enjoy doing it at the moment. So just kind of looking forward to seeing mainly if it makes the sessions a little shorter going forward, and obviously prolongs my energy levels as I get through the sessions. Energy levels were great today. Obviously is a high carb day, 100 grams of intra-workout carbs. I think that may be, that is for sure the highest that I want to go. And I think that I may actually want to pull that back to 75. I think it's 100 grams of carbs is just causing I wouldn't say like massive digestive issues during training, but it is just kind of getting a little annoying. There was a little bit of bloat there from training today. The high carb day on the training day really is keeping my energy levels and everything going in the gym, and I really feel like I'm taking full advantage of all the carbs and all the calories that I'm eating on these high carb days as I'm putting them to use in the gym. Outside of the gym, with it being Sunday, today was kind of just focused on getting prepared for the week. I cleaned my office, cleaned the bedroom, and made the bed and everything there, and wrote out my to-do lists and everything for the upcoming week. And I feel like I need to be extra organized this upcoming week because late Friday night we leave for Vegas, like I said earlier today. So just kind of trying to get as much of a head start on everything for the week as I can, so that when it comes time to leave, that's as low stress as possible. What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. It is an absolutely gorgeous day outside. The sun is out. My car says it's 73. That's probably a little high. It's probably in like the mid 60s. The sweatshirt and the hat that I'm wearing is definitely overdoing it. I am en route to get some groceries. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. Productive day so far. Woke up, check-ins got done, prepped some turkey sausage, prepped my meals for tomorrow while the turkey sausage was getting prepped, and did some video editing and everything, and just kind of using the afternoon to catch up on some errands and get ahead for the week. As soon as I get back from Vegas, I get back from Vegas on Monday, and then on Thursday I turn around and I go to the Indianapolis region for my client Jackson's show. So just need to be efficient with my time and make sure that I'm taking care of things ahead of schedule, because I'm not going to have any time like over the weekend to run any errands or anything, obviously, and it's going to be a short week when I do get back from Vegas before I turn around and go again. My weight this morning was pretty heavy. I was like 182 point something. It ended up coming out to about a 3.5 pound increase from yesterday, which is definitely heavier than what I had expected it would be, but I'm not sure how accurate that is, because I am definitely dealing with some digestive issues that I just straight up can't explain, and I noticed those yesterday. I kind of noticed in the gym acid reflux was really high, and I was actually a little gassy in the gym. There's a level of gassy where you would consider it to be normal, and then there would be a level of gassy where even you are like, dude, this smells awful. Like, this literally smells like something died, like, coming out of me. And that's kind of where I was yesterday, like in the middle of the gym, and it kind of persisted throughout the rest of the afternoon. And when I took my Epsom salt bath post-workout last night, when I was laying in the bathtub, I was super gassy. So and I, today I've been having more bowel movements than normal, let me just say that. So the 3.5 pound increase that I got, I'm not sure how accurate that is, because I'm sure part of that equation is like inflammation in my stomach and water that I'm holding on to, and food that I haven't eliminated yet, if you know what I mean. So obviously have to take that with a grain of salt. I'm not gonna let this affect future high days. The first time that I did 700 carbs, it was kind of hard to gauge like what happened, because that was a really rough day. And then the second time that I did 700 grams of carbs, now I had digestive issues. So the 3 times that I did 600, everything went great. And now the 2 times that I've done 700, I've had, hard time gauging properly like how that's going, but I'm going to stick to my guns. And the next high day that I do, whenever it's going to be, I'm still going to let that be 700 grams of carbs. I'm not going to let these 2 like fluke occurrences disrupt what I feel I need. Okay, this is gonna wrap it up for Monday, since the last time that I checked in with you guys. Oh, what is that on my face? That is Greek yogurt. I gotta keep that in. That is so funny. Last time I checked in with you guys was when I was on the way to get groceries. Obviously came home and unpacked the groceries, and then I spent a couple hours on the computer finishing off tax things. Yay! This is one of the shitty things about being self-employed and owning a business, is you tend to get fucked by the government during tax season. I don't want to like turn this into a rant, but when you're an employee, usually around tax season, you get a tax return. And usually when you own the business, at least for me at this point in my career, I've been fortunate enough that my business is profitable. So I usually have, you would think that'd be great. Your business is profitable and you're making money. But the United States is kind of fucking weird, where you want your business to make money, but you want to try and legally show that you're not making money to avoid paying as much taxes as possible. Look at the vein. We're getting there. So yeah, that's my spiel about that. But I spent a couple hours taking care of that this afternoon. And then we went to Planet Fitness and did cardio. And then after that, we went to Five Below. Hopefully, people, particularly in the US, will be familiar with Five Below. It's like a dollar store, but it's like $5 and below. And even within that, they have stuff that's above $5. But it's kind of like a higher end dollar store. They have actually a good selection of like protein snacks. And Carissa and I really like the protein brownies by Prime Bites. And she said on the, after cardio was like, dude, look. She said after cardio, she was like craving one of those, and our Planet Fitness is pretty close to a Five Below. So we popped over there, grabbed a couple brownies, came home, finished up some content stuff, and then maybe you can hear the shower running in the background, but I'm going to take a shower, eat my last meal, and then call it a day. I've got another super long day tomorrow. Probably looking like Tuesday may be the busiest work day of the week tomorrow. And I have to train a full body a new rotation begins. So daylight savings time also happened on Sunday, I believe, is when that happened. So I've been staying up later than what I'd like to be and waking up later than what I'd like to be lately. So I want to try and get to bed at a reasonable time tonight and get back on normal schedule. So I'm going to sign off, get to bed, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Back at it. Back double. Apple tie. Guys, I promise that I'm not trying to make every single one of these days the same. I don't want to just have every single day be a video clip of me walking on the walking pad at the end of the day and telling you guys how the day went, but life has just been super busy lately for me. I actually put in my Instagram caption today that life outside of the gym kind of feels like it's moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Happy Tuesday. It's about 9:30 p.m. On Tuesday night. Today has been an extremely busy day. As I was writing my to-do list at the beginning of the week, I could see that Tuesday was going to be the busiest work day of the week from the very beginning. So today was super busy. I had the longest check-in day that I have had at least in like a month or two. I had a couple of clients who needed to kind of reschedule their check-ins this week, and it just so happened that today, Tuesday, was just and ended up being an insanely busy day. I had a posing call with Jackson, who is within 2 weeks out of competing. Had a ton of content that I had to edit, and tomorrow I am gonna be a slave to the computer with video editing tomorrow. I have so much content to edit tomorrow. I'm already kind of dreading how much time I'm gonna be spending doing it. But I got a good chunk of that done today, and then planned out what I'm going to edit tomorrow. Prepped my meals as always. Took care of some more tax things, as I kind of talked about yesterday. I was doing some tax work yesterday. Woke up this morning to find out that the tax work that I did was done incorrectly. So that was a kind of a stressful way to start the day. But as of now, fingers crossed, it's looking like I've gotten everything taken care of. And then after all of that went down, it was time to train. A very, very good training session. Today was full body A, which signifies the beginning of a new training rotation. And fortunately, the Smith machine was available tonight. So I was able to get my Smith machine presses, both of them, the chest press and the JM tricep press, and then the upper back row done. This training rotation is going to be a little bit different than normal. Obviously, I would typically train every other day, A rest, B rest, C rest, and D rest. But this week I'm going to train A, and then rest tomorrow on Wednesday, and then I'll train B on Thursday, and then I'll actually be out of the gym from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday while I am in Vegas. And then I will get back in the gym on Monday and do the C workout, rest on Tuesday, do the D workout on Wednesday to finish up the training rotation, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the following weekend, I will be out of the gym as I will be in Indianapolis for Jackson's show. And then from there, on that following Sunday, I should be able to get back in the gym and then get back on the normal every other day rotation. So basically, this training rotation is going to have normal schedule for 2 workouts. I'm going to get 3 days off. I'm going to have normal schedule for the second 2 workouts, and then 3 days off, and then get back to normal schedule after that. Obviously, that is not the way that I would want things to go, like if life were totally perfect, but obviously this concert this weekend is going to be a ton of fun. We've had this planned for a long time, and really looking forward to doing that. And then obviously, as much as I love bodybuilding and I love my own prep, I am a coach first and foremost. Coaching is what pays my bills, and I am always going to prioritize coaching clients over coaching myself, even in my own prep. So as far as like missing workouts for Jackson's show, that's honestly not something that I'm worried about at all. Honestly, when I'm traveling and at a client's show, I prefer to not train anyways, unless I like absolutely needed to, especially when I'm in prep. When I look back in 2023, I went to a client's show when I was 2 weeks out of my first ever show, and I forced myself to do a training session at like 5 a.m. on Friday morning, and in hindsight, I think that just added stress to the weekend. That was already a stressful weekend. I didn't need to add any more stress on top of that, and it was just unnecessary. So that's going to be the plan of attack. Obviously I got that little voice in my head that's saying that you're being lazy for taking days off or whatever, but I know that realistically that is going to be the best thing for me. Happy with the training session, happy with the look after the training session. I feel like I'm really hitting a good stride with my posing. I haven't posed with Justin since the last time that I posed with him, but I have seen him in the gym, and we just kind of talked about some things. But I've really been practicing hard a lot of the tips and everything that he's been giving me, and I'm really starting to get even more comfortable with my posing. So that is great. It also helps that I have a lot of clients who are competing right now, so I'm spending a lot of time critiquing posing. So that's one of the things that I love about being a coach, especially when I'm in prep and I'm prepping other people, is it's almost like the work that I'm doing when I'm talking to them. I'm obviously working and helping them get better, but it's also making me better because I'm like constantly reminding other people what they need to be doing, which makes it easier to do it myself. 8.5 weeks out tomorrow, and I think the next week and a half, between the rest of this week and then coming home and then going to Indy, I think the next week and a half to 2 weeks is going to go by very quick. So, right now I'm sitting here telling you guys I'll be 8.5 weeks out tomorrow, and I have a feeling I'll blink my eyes and then the next thing you know, it'll be like 6.5 weeks. So it's it's grind time. It's kind of always been grind time, to be honest, but knowing that we're getting closer, and knowing that the already like finite amount of time that I have, like a certain amount of that time is going to be dedicated for something else, makes me realize that I've got even less time than what I'm kind of planning out in my head. So we've got to make every day count. The way that I'm going to make today count is by getting to bed at a decent time. Ever since Friday, when I stayed up till like 2 o'clock that night working, just kind of making up on the stuff that I had missed when I had to take Carissa to the ER, and then my parents were coming over that next day. Ever since then, and then daylight savings time happened the very next day, my sleep schedule has been just so thrown off. And realistically, between the late night flight on Friday that we're going to have and then the early morning Sunday flight that we're going to have, my sleep schedule is probably just going to be thrown off for the remainder of the week. If anything, it may be a good thing that my schedule is thrown off now, so that way I don't have to throw it off again when I go to Vegas. You know, it's already kind of thrown off. So kind of trying to think about it in a positive way, but I am still going to try and get it back in routine as much as I can. And hopefully that starts tonight. So I'm going to let you guys go take a shower finally, and then get a good night of sleep. Rest day tomorrow, a ton of content work, and another busy client work day tomorrow. Got a cardio session that we'll do sometime in there, and then we'll see what other trouble that we can get into. This vlog is the perfect representation of the weather in the Midwest United States. Monday, it was 65, 70 degrees, sunny, beautiful day outside. Today, it's 35 degrees, cloudy, rainy. It actually snowed this morning. There's no way, well, maybe you could see it. There's snow on the window of my car. There was tornado warnings in the city of Chicago last night. I don't live in the city. I live in a suburb like 20 miles west, but there was tornado warnings in the city. So that's pretty representative of the Midwest United States. One day it's beautiful, and then the next day it sucks. I'm on the way to do cardio now. Cardio is a solo mission today. Carissa has a lot of things that she's got to get caught up on today, so she's gonna stay home from cardio today. So I'm gonna do that solo, obviously. Just gonna go ahead and get that cranked out, and then get a chunk of video editing done while I'm on the treadmill. Usually what I've been doing when I go to Planet Fitness is walking on the treadmill for a little bit, super casually, just at 0 incline, 2.0 miles an hour, just usually editing videos, just kind of using that as time to get some steps first and foremost. I've already hit my step goal for today. I've spent pretty much the whole morning like on the walking pad while I've been working, but just get some extra steps in and get these videos edited, and then I'll do my 20 minutes of cardio and then come home. It's been another surprise. It's been another really busy day today. Woke up, check-ins right away, and I've basically been doing check-ins all morning. And I literally just sent off my last check-in 10 minutes ago. Sent off the check-in, ran out to the car and turned it on to warm it up a little bit, and here we are. After I'm done with this cardio, I will head home and I'll be back on the computer. I have a new client who signed on Sunday, I believe, is when he signed on, and I've been putting some of the starting touches to his program, and I need to get that finished today, by the end of the night tonight. And I'm really hoping that this cardio session kind of gives me a little bit of a midday energy boost. I am tired today. Up late last night again. Woke up at the same time this morning, and literally this morning when I woke up, I just laid in bed and was like, oh my God. This weather does not help at all when it's doom and gloom and looking shitty and everything like this and depressing outside. It does not make it easy to get out of bed, but you just gotta get up and try your best to put one foot in front of the other, and somehow, some way, you end up making it through the day. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but lately it's really been feeling like the morning is the hardest part. If I can get through the first like 2 hours of each day, I'm all uphill from there. You know, an object in motion stays in motion, but man, sometimes getting in motion is very difficult. Speaking of motion, let's do some cardio. I'm tapping out for the night. What I said I would do is come home from cardio and sit down and start working. What actually ended up happening is I came home from cardio and ate a meal and then decided to lay down for a second, and then that turned into a spontaneous nap. Woke up, hit the desk, and did end up getting most of the stuff taken care of that I needed to get done. I'd say about 75% of it, but I'm hitting a wall now. Physical and mental energy is just tapped out at this point. The subsequent days of my sleep schedule just getting more thrown off, and sleeping less and less is just really kind of catching up to me. So I need to call it a night tonight. If I can get a really good night of sleep tonight and wake up feeling nice and refreshed tomorrow, then I'll be able to pick up where I left off and attack the day. Got a training session tomorrow, got some food to prep. We leave for Vegas late Friday night, so I want to basically have like my protein sources and everything prepped and in the freezer, so that when I come home from Vegas, I don't have to do any like meal prep or anything. I want to like prep ahead for the week. So this whole week, the to-do list has been super long, and tomorrow is no different. But I'm kind of reaching that point where I don't have the energy physically or mentally to keep getting things done today. So I need to just take today for what it is, get to bed early, recharge the battery, and get after it tomorrow. Thursday is a much nicer day than Wednesday was. The sun is out. It's still kind of cold. It's like 45 degrees, but at least the sun is out, and that makes it feel nice and warm. The sun was beating on my car all morning, so the car is nice and warm. So that makes the ride to the gym a little bit more enjoyable, I guess. 180.2 this morning, very close to being sub 180. I can kind of feel it, I could kind of feel it last night before I went to bed, that my skin was kind of feeling thin and everything, so I had a feeling that my weight would be pretty light this morning. Today's training session is going to be my last session until Monday, so I'm going to get 3 days off after today. And so because of that, I am going to do a little bit more work than what I would normally do. I would not normally do a direct rear delt exercise on this particular workout, but I am going to do one today. And then depending on how I feel, I may add in an extra set of like leg extension or something at the end just to top up on the leg stimulus. We'll see how that goes. I for sure am going to do some direct rear delt work. I'm probably not going to do the extra leg extension, but I do think it's a good idea for me just because I'm going to be taking a little bit of extra rest between today's workout and the next time that I get back in the gym. I think it would be fine to maybe do a little bit more than what I would normally do. I don't want to get too carried away with that, and I would never recommend really any of my clients do that except for in like very specific scenarios. So I hope none of my clients are watching this and think that that's a good idea. This is kind of one of those things where you do as I say and not as I do. And realistically, we're talking about rear delts, like adding a set of rear delts on a workout that I normally would not have it on. Like, how much fatigue is that going to cause realistically? So why not is basically the way that I'm thinking about that. I think at this point, I am pretty much like 95% caught up with the content and client work that I needed to get caught up with for the week. I got a great night of sleep last night, woke up feeling great this morning, and I just attacked the computer like right away, right out of bed. So I was able to kind of finish off everything that I wanted to finish off yesterday and then just knock everything out, bang, bang, bang. So feel good about that. Now, today when I get home from the gym, I need to start getting ready for Vegas. I need to start getting my stuff packed and kind of set aside and everything, because tomorrow is going to be a normal work day. And then after I do a full day of check-ins, I still have to, a bunch of like little errand bullshit things. I got to get a haircut and finish prepping some food and freeze some stuff and little things like that. But long to-do list tomorrow. So I want to start to work ahead tonight on some of the things that I can check off of that. Thursday night, about 10:30 p.m., we are going to sign off for the night. Came home from the gym, put some chicken in the Instapot and got that cooked up. So I have all of my protein sources cooked and prepped for when I get back from Vegas. So tomorrow, before we leave for the airport, I'm going to put those in the freezer. And then when I get home Monday morning, then I'll take those out and let those thaw and we'll be ready to go. I got caught up on the last little bits of client work and got back to the clients that I checked in with this morning. Posted the training session on socials. And did some dishes and kind of cleaned up the kitchen a little bit. And then at the moment, we have no diet soda in the house. I finished up the last of it today. And I kind of thought, we'll be okay. I don't need to get some tonight. And then, it happened. Had to go to the gas station up the road and get some. I can't go without it at this point, especially at night. I gotta have that sweet carbonation. So this is actually Diet Pepsi. Believe it or not, I was feeling this over Pepsi Zero Sugar. Normally I prefer the Zero Sugar variation to the diet variation, but I do like a good fountain diet Pepsi every once in a while. Training today was great. Just super happy with all of the numbers. I did add the rear delt fly. As I had mentioned, I did not do any extra leg work. I just added the rear delt fly and I just left it at that. Really happy with training, and actually really happy with the way that I looked after training when I did my posing practice. So feeling good about where I'm kind of leaving off at. Take a couple days off, have a good time in Vegas, and then come home and get back to work and hit the ground running before I turn around again and head out to Indianapolis to do the day job and coach someone for a show. So got a lot of things done today, but I've got another busy day tomorrow. Right away, starting the day off with a posing call for another client of mine who is competing. So we're gonna literally hit the ground running and start the day right away with doing that call. And then I've got a day's worth of check-ins to do. And then after that, the rest of the day is gonna kind of be focused on getting ready for Vegas. I haven't packed anything yet, so I obviously have to pack. I think I'm going to get a little bit of a haircut. I genuinely don't think I've cut my hair since Thanksgiving, so I need to, or Christmas at the absolute latest, but I need to get some sort of a haircut to look presentable. Do some little things around the house, like take the trash out and stuff, and just make sure that everything is good to go for when we're gone. And we got to drop our dog off at Carissa's mom's house, so we're get all her stuff together and then take her over there tomorrow. So busy day tomorrow. As usual, this whole week has been busy, so that's not a surprise. But and then actually tomorrow night, like midnight, late at night, is when our flight leaves for Vegas. So tomorrow's going to be a long day. Hoping that I can sneak a nap in the middle of the day. That would really be ideal. But I need to take a shower and get to bed for tonight. So I'm not sure how much checking in we will do tomorrow. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, but hopefully I can get a lot of it on film and capture a bunch of B-roll. Today is Friday, and it has been a tough day already. God, I feel like such a bitch coming on here and complaining. I feel like I've just been doing a lot of complaining lately, and this is the second Friday in a row that has been a little bit of a challenge. But today has kind of sucked so far, just in total honesty. First, if you haven't heard by now, I'm sure you will by the time that we get to the gym. We're having like an extreme wind warning in the Chicago area today, which in itself is not that big of a deal. That actually happens fairly frequently. You know, it's called the Windy City for a reason, but for whatever reason, today, this windstorm is knocking our electricity out. We've probably lost power like 5 times today, so it's made the work day and just general living like really frustrating. As I said last night, I had a posing call scheduled for first thing this morning. That ended up getting a little bit delayed because of the power outages. Eventually got the call in, and everything went really good with that, but it was just a frustrating start getting the day started. And then as I started to get into the rest of the check-ins for the day, I had 2 clients who dropped off this week, and both of those clients were clients that I would consider to be like staple clients of mine. I've worked with both of them for 2 years plus, so you know, those are long-term relationships and friendships and everything that you know, you've kind of built over the years. And obviously the relationship doesn't end. Like, I always end things with people on good terms, but this, I've kind of talked about this before on my TikTok, but this is one of the things that really kind of sucks about online coaching is you do develop these relationships like with these people over the internet. And I think one of the reasons why it affects me like so much more now with online coaching is because online coaching is very different than personal training, like training people in the gym. You know, a lot of the successful like in-person personal trainers that I know of, at least, they're usually working with like a maximum of maybe like 10 to 12 clients, maybe, relatively like smaller amount of clients. But with online coaching, because of the nature of the service, you need to have, and because of the way that it works, you can have larger client bases. And so whenever you have a business that has a larger client base, by default, you're going to have a larger degree of turnover, you know, people that are going to come and go. And so clients falling off is not something that is like new to me or abnormal to me, but you have, I'm not going to speak for everybody, I'm going to speak for myself. I have a certain like subsection of my client base that I would consider to be like my staple clients that I've been working with for a very long time. I feel like I have a strong personal relationship, not only with things like outside of the gym, but obviously with what's going on within their training and nutrition, etc. Then those client relationships are like the ones that are the most like fulfilling to me, you know, the ones that take things the most seriously and put forth the most effort and really put the time and effort in to get the most out of the coaching services. And those are the clients that it always hurts to lose the most. So to lose 2 in one day is, it's, you know, it's defeating. It's really kind of a defeating feeling. And as I kind of said, like, whenever I end things with a client, I don't think I've ever had an experience yet in my entire coaching career where I've ended things poorly, like with a client. I've been very lucky that everything has always kind of ended pretty amicably on both sides, and everything has kind of always worked out. So it's never really an issue with the confrontation or anything of them leaving. But it's just shitty knowing that I'm not going to be checking in with these guys every Friday going forward. And that, on top of that, which is really like minuscule in the grand scheme of things, I slept like shit last night. Our dog threw up in the middle of the night a couple times, actually, so that was kind of concerning. You know, she was acting fine and everything this morning, so things seem to be going good, but that obviously disrupted my sleep last night, which was already shorter. This entire week I've been going to bed later and waking up earlier. That's just the way that things have been working out, and so I already was not going to get a super great night of sleep last night, and then that got disrupted quite a bit, so I was already pretty tired and cranky this morning, on top of how tired and cranky I've been like this whole week, and then the power outages, and then the clients leaving has just kind of got me in a little bit of a funk. I sat down and I tried to do the rest of my check-ins, and just being honest with you guys, like I couldn't, like nothing was coming out, nothing. I couldn't focus on what I was doing. Honestly, just being totally honest with you guys, like as of the time of me filming this clip, I'm feeling pretty demoralized, and I'm feeling pretty defeated, and it just really kind of sucks. Like I said, it's one of those things where at the end of the day, you know, online coaching is, unfortunately, it's an expendable service, and when people have things like happen in their life, my service is going to be one of the first things that they look at to cut out in order to save money, or in order to save time, or in order to save themselves like a degree of stress, which really sucks. And kind of going back to feeling defeated, it kind of just really sucks to know that you can you can do everything that you can to provide a good service, and even if you do provide an amazing service, it is an expendable, it's like a luxury thing to have at the end of the day. So that really sucks. These are the type of days where you like contemplate, like, fuck, like do I need to get a part-time job to like help make ends meet? Do I need to maybe look at having a different career? I don't actually think that I'm going to look into doing a different career. I genuinely feel that I was put on this earth to train people. So I don't want to start talking like that, because I'm just going to get into a rant. But I'm just, I could kind of feel as I was sitting there at the desk that if I just kind of sat here and I just kind of try and force myself to work, I'm going to get into like a depressive funk. I can already kind of feel a funk coming on. So I had to get out. I had to get out of the apartment. I had to get to the gym and gotta go do this cardio. I mean, I'm literally doing this for my mental sanity today. I mean, obviously this is on the schedule to do because it's a rest day anyways, but I feel like I need to do this right now, today, in order to give myself the best possible chance to turn this day around, because this day has been shitty. It's just started off really shitty, and I'm just in a shitty headspace. So I gotta try and flip it somehow. Okay, let's try this again. Cardio was successful. I was in a little bit of a better mood after that. Was able to kind of, I guess, channel some frustration into the cardio. I actually did the cardio a one level above what I typically would do. So instead of level 11, I did it at level 12, and I'll probably keep it at that going forward. I think that was a sustainable increase that I can make. To be honest, guys, just wasn't in the mood to film anything today. Did cardio, came home. By the time I came home, the internet was back up, power had stabilized, and I was able to get my check-ins done. And then after that, I've basically spent the whole afternoon just packing for Vegas, and then getting everything ready for when I come back. So I've already got like food and everything prepped and in the fridge and in the freezer, so that as soon as we land on Monday morning, then I'll literally have everything sitting there waiting and ready to go. The plan is to come home Monday morning and pick up with work like normal, and then get back in the gym. I can't really afford to miss a beat this next week because I'm again going to be turning around and going to Indy and taking a couple days off for that. So I have to take advantage of the short period of time that I do have next week. So obviously prepping for that started today. And then need to get to bed early because our flight leaves at 6:00. So we are planning on being at the airport at around 4. And so we have an Uber picking us up at 3:30. So I got to be up by like 3 at the latest. So it's going to be a short night. This whole week has been short nights, but tonight will be the shortest night of them all. The next time that I check in with you guys, I will either be in the airport or in Vegas, and I will also be 8 weeks out, which is pretty crazy. We're drawing more and more near. Surely it's got to be up from here. Obviously I'm alive and I'm healthy and everything, so to complain is kind of lame, but today was just kind of one of those like tough testing days, but that's the reality of the process. I did get a haircut today on a positive note, got a beard trim, so I look a little bit less like a hobo, so that's a positive thing. And I'm just
completely exhausted. So I know I'm only going to get 5 hours of sleep, but they'll be good quality, and hopefully I can sleep on the plane and touch down in Vegas and feel like a new man. So I'm going to wrap this one up and get to bed. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. If you guys are training today, then train hard. If you're resting today, then rest hard. And as always, guys, thank you for watching and take care of yourselves.